Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today, just got a little video. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some upcoming changes in the shop, things that are going on in my life, and a couple of events coming up here pretty soon, just to kind of get everybody on the same page. So first off, my big news is, and I had mentioned this in a video a while back, is that July 1st, 2024, I have officially retired from my full-time job. As most of you guys know, I had a job outside of working in the shop that I've been doing for many, many years, and that has really prevented me from spending as much time in the shop working on projects and creating content as what I would like to do. This past year, an opportunity came up for me to take an early retirement package, and I opted to do so. So July 1st, full-time retirement, full-time working in the shop. Really excited about it. My goal now is that this working in the shop is going to be my full-time job. I'm not where I am financially in life where I can just retire and live off of my 401k or whatever for the rest of my life. I'm fairly young, 56 years old to be retiring, so this is going to become my full-time job going forward. But I do plan on continuing to bring more videos to you guys and bringing things out. So the biggest change that I'm hoping that you guys are going to see is that my plan is I actually want to up the number of videos that I'm producing a week, go from 2 videos to 3 videos. And we're going to start trying to do a Wednesday episode. This video here is posting on a Wednesday. I think I posted one last Wednesday. Not going to totally guarantee it that it'll happen every single week. That's a lot of editing, a lot of time sitting in front of the computer. There may be times of the year when things are just busy and I can't keep up and can't do that much video producing, but that is my goal going forward, is I want to be actually increase the number of videos that we're producing. So hopefully that'll be a good change. Hopefully that'll be something you guys can look forward to. I've got in the shop right now several months worth of work, just backlog of jobs that I have promised to do for people over the years, and I'm happy that I'm finally to a point where I can start doing more of that. And going forward, I am going to be taking on more work for contract, for customers, whatever, and hopefully interesting projects that we can bring to you guys and share what's going on doing restoration work here in the shop. So anyway, just wanted to share that information. Really excited. The first 2 weeks of retirement hasn't really allowed me to get out here and do what I wanted to do, which was work full-time in the shop. There's been a lot of just moving parts of just transitioning from working full-time to going into this retirement stage of my life. Things like, well, you know, for the last 15 years, I've driven a company vehicle, and I've been able to use it for personal use. It's been a really nice perk. But now all of a sudden I've had to go purchase a vehicle. Turned out I was able to buy my company vehicle, which I was excited about because I know that everything that's happened to that truck since I've had it is still in good shape. So, but that took a lot of time. You know, something as simple as my cell phone. I had a company phone and I had to go get my own personal phone. It took a whole day up there at the cell phone place just getting a phone switched over. You wouldn't think it'd have been that hard. Now there were some challenges because I was going from a company phone to a personal phone and some other things, but we got it all worked out. But yeah, it's just all these little things just eating away at my time. Plus my wife, who works at a private school, she retired from public education about a year ago and actually went back to work in a private school. They're moving buildings and they're actually moving to a new campus, and I have been spending a lot of time up there just helping them get things ready for school to start, which they're finally starting school, so I'm excited about that, and hopefully won't have to be up there doing as much of that kind of work. But anyway, a little bit about my full-time job, because I've got a lot of questions on that over the years, and I have purposely been a little evasive about what I did in my full-time career. Not because it was a secret, not because it was anything like that. My biggest thing was that I wanted to make sure that there was never any conflict of interest between what I did professionally and what I did in the shop here. So I went to pains and to extremes to kind of make sure that I did not really talk about my professional world and my YouTube world, because again, I didn't want that conflict of interest to come in there and my company be able to come in and say, Keith, we don't want you doing videos because you're representing us. So I went to great pains to always kind of leave that out. Now that I'm retired, you know, it's no big deal. I can tell you what I did. And anybody asked me, like I said, it wasn't a big secret. I just didn't really talk about it in the videos. But I spent 30 years working in the agricultural industry. I went to school many years ago. When I graduated high school, I wanted to go to college, didn't have money to go to college, so I had to go get a job and save up for several years. As it turned out, the job that I got was working in a machine shop, and I spent about 2.5 years doing kind of a informal apprenticeship in a machine shop. Learned the basics, learned stuff, and really enjoyed doing the work. But after I saved up some money, I went off to college, got a degree in agronomy, went on to graduate school, got advanced degrees in crop physiology, and basically spent my career working as a scientist in the agriculture sector. I spent 12 years working for the University of Georgia in cooperative extension, a couple years working with a farm co-op, and then the last 15 years of my career I've spent working with Bayer Crop Science, Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R, as in Bayer Aspirin, their agriculture division. And I was their technical rep for the southeastern United States, working with their crop protection portfolio. Basically did research and development work, so a lot of research trials, both that I did myself, plus that I contracted with universities to do. And then I also supported our sales team with any kind of technical information that they needed. If they had problems in the field, questions on how to use products or whatever, I was the guy they called. I was the guy that got called out to go do trainings and do all kinds of stuff. Had a great career. Thoroughly enjoyed what I did for a living. It was really literally a dream come true, because as a small child, what I wanted to be when I grew up was a farmer. And while I never achieved farmer status, I did get to spend my career supporting farmers and working in agriculture. And yeah, I guess you could say I farmed a little bit, but my farm was more research plots than it was actually farming for a living. But you know, it was really just an absolutely wonderful career. I think a lot of times when people think of agriculture, a vision that comes to their mind is, you know, some old guy wearing overalls with chickens and pigs running around the front yard. Whereas in the reality is the agriculture is a very high-tech industry. Very fast-paced, very fast-moving, very diverse in everything you have to do in agriculture. It's amazing the technology that's out there that's being used right now. Same technology is being used everywhere else. We talk about autonomous cars and cars driving themselves. We've had tractors driving themselves in fields using GPS, doing precision planting and stuff for 20 years. So really ahead of the curve in many ways. So a very high-tech industry and something that I've really enjoyed doing. But the good news is that after 30 years of doing that, I'm moving on to my second passion in life, which of course is working in the shop and doing restoration work, something that I never quit doing after I left the machine shop 30-something years ago, 35 years ago, however long it's been now, taking out that time in school. You know, I continued keeping my hands busy, continued doing it as a hobby, and now back to doing it professionally. So I'm looking forward for the next 30 years, maybe, out here working in the shop doing this, because it is truly a passion, just like agriculture has been a passion for me throughout my life. So anyway, just wanted to share that information with you because that is going to be making some changes around here, but again, hopefully positive changes, and that you're going to be seeing more content coming out of Vintage Machinery. All right, next thing I want to talk about. Every year in September for this is I think the 19th annual time, we're going to be having our annual ArnFest event, ArnFest, up outside of Chicago at the Illinois Railway Museum in Union, Illinois, which is kind of on the very outskirt bands of the Chicago area. It's really closer to Rockford than it is Chicago, but actually in kind of an agricultural farming area up there even. But annual event usually happens toward the end of September. This year is going to be held September 26th through 29th. This is 2024. Again, I know these videos tend to live forever, so if you're watching this in the future, you can go check it out. They're probably going to have another one coming up toward the end of the next September. This thing's been going on for a long time now, so but ArnFest is coming up. I do plan on attending again. I've been to every single one of them. I think, like I said, this is the 19th one, I think. Anyway, September 26th through 29th. Hope that some of you guys can come out and see us. I know many times in the past, many of you have. So the ArnFest event is really kind of an outgrowth of the OWWM.org discussion forums. OWWM is the old woodworking machines discussion forum. So it is a little bit more woodworking oriented than it is metalworking. However, all these guys are into restoration work, and there is machine shop type stuff and metalworking stuff that goes on with these guys too. You know, most of us kind of do both. So I think it'll be interesting to most of my viewers if you wanted to come up there to it. And of course, it's being held at the Illinois Railway Museum, which is a huge railroad museum. And if you're into trains like I am, that alone is worth the trip to come up there. So hope to see you guys there. September 26th is on a Thursday. That's kind of a check-in day. People start coming in, getting things set up. Not really a whole lot goes on Thursday. Friday, usually there's some demos going on. It's still kind of informal. Saturday is really the big day of the event. That's that morning we have the swap meet where people bring in stuff, work off the tailgates of their truck. That morning for several hours, we're all out there in the parking lot. And there's usually some pretty good deals to be had. It's not the biggest swap meet in the world, but it's a pretty good sized swap meet, and there's usually some pretty good stuff there. So I always look forward to going to that swap meet every year. And then on Saturday, again, they have some demonstrations going on throughout the day. They have some tours that usually are lined up at the Illinois Railway Museum, private tours. It's not something that you would normally be able to get in to see into some of the shops and stuff like that. So if you're interested in coming, I would encourage you to go check out ArnFest.com. That's where all the information is. As we get a little bit closer, they usually start posting a schedule. I think they're still kind of working on what the exact schedule is going to look like right now. But all that information's up there. You can register there. There is a registration for this. You need to register if you want to come. Pre-registering is preferred. It's a little bit cheaper. You can register on site, but it's a little bit more expensive. But if you do plan on coming, go online, register. You can either register for the whole event, which includes the banquet on Saturday night, which is a nice dinner at in Crystal Lake at the Holiday Inn there. They have a big silent auction, a big live auction. There's raffles goes on during the banquet. It's worth coming to in itself, just going to the banquet, because there's all kinds of really cool stuff that you can pick up there as well. But hopefully you can get registered and come out and see us. I know that it is really kind of an OWWM group, but they've kind of allowed me to kind of invite my crew, you guys, to come out there as well. And like I said, we all get along pretty good. So anyway, I'm hoping that some of you guys will make the trip up there. I'm looking forward to it. This year, I'm going to actually be making a big road trip going up to ArnFest. Now, I had mentioned some time back that my wife and I were going to take a road trip. We were going to go up to Glacier National Park and then kind of work our way over toward ArnFest. Unfortunately, my wife and her schedule at work did not work out for her to be able to take off. There were some things that came up that she was not going to be able to take off the time to go do this year. So we have put off our trip to Glacier that the two of us really want to do. We're going to probably try to do that sometime next year, but I'm going on a road trip. So I have teamed up with my buddy Clark Easterling. Clark, of course, is over at Windy Hill Foundry. Clark and I do a lot of work together, and we actually did a big road trip out to the Bardsley Summer Bash just a couple of months ago. But Clark is going to ride with me again, and we're going to take a big, it's going to really be about a 2-week road trip again. We've got a pretty neat itinerary planned. So just for kicks, I'll kind of tell you what we're planning on doing. So I'm going to pull out of Tifton here where I'm at, Tifton, Georgia, down in South Georgia on Sunday, September 22nd. And I got to pick Clark up. But now Clark is actually going to be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. His wife has a family reunion up there over that weekend. But it's pretty much was on the way of how I was going. So I'm going to be taken out of here and probably drive up somewhere in the St. Louis area. I don't know exactly where yet. I haven't got a place planned to stay yet. But I'm going to spend the night up there somewhere, crash, and then get up on Monday and drive up to Cedar Rapids, pick up Clark, and then the two of us are going to jump in the truck and we're going up to Minneapolis, Minnesota, get up there late on Monday evening or sometime on Monday afternoon or evening. On Tuesday, we've got a tour lined up of the Minnesota Streetcar Museum, who I've actually done some things for in my shop before, and Clark has done some castings for them as well. I've had an invite for several years to get up there and see their museum and shops, and just have not ever been able to work it out. I actually had planned on going up there, I don't know, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago now, and I had a meeting that was going to be in Minneapolis, and I was going to take an extra day or two, and Lo and behold, we had a hurricane come through right literally before I was getting ready to leave up there, and I just could not in good conscience go off and leave my family here to fight out a hurricane. So I ended up canceling that trip and didn't get up there. So I'm going up there. We're going to visit the Minnesota Streetcar Museum on Tuesday, September 24th. Probably stay in the Minneapolis area again on Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday morning, we're going to get up and drive over to just south of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to Oak Creek, Wisconsin. I'm going to visit with my buddy, Ron Grundy. Ron Grundy is the gentleman that worked for Kearney Trecker, K&T. He spent 30 years of his career working there, started out building machines. He was basically scraping in machines as they were building brand new machines. Later on, he went in and actually managed their rebuild department, where they brought machines in and rebuilt them and sent them back out for customers. And then he also managed the parts department there for a little while. He is a wealth of information on Kearney Trecker machines, and he has become a good friend of mine over the years. I've actually visited with him one time before, but I'm going to go up and spend a little bit of time with Ron. On Thursday, we'll make our way down to the Crystal Lake, Illinois area, Union, Illinois area. That's when ArnFest starts, is on Thursday, and we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day long, and doing the events we talked about a minute ago for ArnFest. Then on Sunday, we're going to get up and we're going to start heading east. This is where we take a big out-of-the-way loop, but we got a lot of things that we got planned to do there. So going to be heading over toward Buffalo, New York, but on the way, I'm going to be making a stop in South Bend, Indiana, to visit a gentleman there that's got a really neat collection of all kinds of cool stuff. I'm not going to mention his name right now, but I've been invited to come by and see some stuff. Hopefully get to shoot a little video, because he's got some really, really neat stuff there. I think you guys will enjoy seeing that if we can work that out. But then somewhere between South Bend and Buffalo, we're going to stop, spend the night. Don't know exactly where yet. And then on Monday, we're heading up. We're going to make a stop in Buffalo, New York, and actually cross over the border into Canada and visit another gentleman up there. Clark's got that lined up, and I don't remember exactly the gentleman's name, but I've met him before. He makes these pretty cool little tools that you can use in the machine shop. So I don't know, maybe we'll get a little video or something there as well. We will leave there, come back across the border into the U.S., and then we're going to be scooting across again somewhere. I don't know exactly where we'll spend the night. Just depends on how the day goes. But we're heading toward Durham, New York, which is where Jimmy DiResta is at. We're going to go by and visit Jimmy DiResta. This will be on Tuesday, October 1st. We're going to stop by Jimmy DiResta's place. Spend probably the most of the day there with him. Jimmy's the guy that I did the big bandsaw restoration for, and I really want to go see the bandsaw where it's set up and being operated and get some video of that, so you guys can kind of see the end results of the Jimmy DiResta bandsaw project and see it finally set up. I was hoping that I was going to be able to take some time off and go up there and help him get it set up once it got shipped up, but that was when kind of my whole retirement thing started, and it just got to be a big mess. I couldn't get up there when he needed to do that, so we're going to go up and visit there anyway. So then on Wednesday, October 2nd, we're going to head out from Jimmy's general vicinity, and we're going to take a little trip down to the Cape Cod area, go to Dennis, Massachusetts, which is the home of Keith Fenner. Keith Fenner, another big YouTube guy out there, machine shop guy. I've met Keith many times at events and stuff over the years, but never been to his shop. So we've got it lined up. We're going to go by and visit Keith, see his operation, see his shop in person, and anyway, spend some time there. From there, we're going to be heading over toward New London, Connecticut area, Gorton, Connecticut, right in there. And we're going to actually spend the day there on Thursday, October 3rd. There's a couple of museums that want to see. The Mystic Seaport Museum is there, which has been on my bucket list for a long time. That's also where the United States Navy trains their submarine force, and they have a submarine museum there, and I really want to go see that. So we're going to probably stay in somewhere in that area overnight there. I'm not exactly sure where. We haven't got all those details worked out, but I'm planning on visiting those museums there on Thursday, October 3rd. Then on Friday, October 4th, we're going to be heading down toward New York City. And Clark has got a tour set up at the P.E. Guerin Foundry, which I think he told me is the second oldest foundry still operating in the United States. And we're going to go by, do a tour of that place. They've got a huge collection of patterns that goes back literally centuries. And we're going to be doing some stuff there. I think we got a couple of other little stops in the New York area. Clark, I think, had a couple of things he needed to pick up over there as well. From there, we're going to spend the night, I don't know exactly where, probably around Wilmington, Delaware or someplace. Haven't got all the details worked out yet on that. But we're going to stop somewhere outside, kind of get out of the New York area. And then on Saturday, October 5th, got a long day driving. We're going to try to get down to Sweetwater, Tennessee, which is right outside of Knoxville. And I think Clark's brother lives there. We're going to crash at his place. And then on Sunday, October 6th, we'll head down to Morton, Mississippi, which of course is where Windy Hill Foundry is located at. I'll stop off there, spend the night with Clark, and then on Monday, October 7th, scoot back across and back up at home. So anyway, got a pretty interesting route all lined up here. You can kind of see roughly what we're looking at doing. It's going to be a long, long trip, a lot of miles. Going to get to see a lot of things though. And our itinerary is still somewhat fluid and changing as opportunities come up and what have you to look at some different things. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to this trip. It's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully can shoot some content to share with you guys while we're out there on this trip as well. So anyway, with all that, that is just a quick update of some things going on around the shop here, kind of getting you guys up to speed. Apologize for just talking to you guys for this whole video, but wanted to bring those things up and just kind of put everything out there on the table of some things that are going on, coming up. And in the future, hope to have videos coming out on Wednesday with more things that are just going on here in the shop. So with that, guys, we're going to sign off. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps out a bunch. Like and comment, that helps out as well. And if you can help out financially through Patreon, PayPal. Big, huge thank you to everybody out there that does that. That enables me to take time, shoot videos, and bring them to you guys, as we've talked about many times before. And with that, we're going to sign off. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Again, thanks for watching.